Perfection. Unachievable, desirable, definable. How can you tell when something is perfect? If something's supposed to be perfect, it just needs to be perfect. Perfect means perfect. It's difficult to achieve perfection if you really can't define it. It's abstract, it's subjective. A practical definition is that it's complete, because something can't be perfect if it isn't done. And it would have to do what I want it to do. Check all my boxes. And as long as there aren't an unreasonable number of boxes to check, it makes perfection seem possible. So regardless if it's a film, or a blog, or a meme, the work is perfect when it's complete, and it does what you want it to do. I said blog. You know what I would call a perfect blog? Fishkin wrote a piece called Hook, Line, and Sinker, a model for crafting successful viral content. And it's perfect. Now, is it perfect because it's a champion of grammar and free of typos? Is it perfect because its topic is superior to all others? No. First of all, it's published, and thusly finished. But what about the other half of our practical definition? When reading a blog, I have a few expectations that need to be actualized, wants that need to be satisfied, boxes that need to be checked. I'm looking for these things. I don't think 10 is a crazy number. If you can check these boxes, then you have a perfect blog. To me, anyway. Now, your 10 things might not be the same 10 things as my 10 things, but that's the subjectivity of it. As a reader, I would feel fulfilled from a blog containing these elements, and as a writer, I would feel fulfilled by supplying them. First things first, the title. The title of the blog, Hook, Line, and Sinker, a model for crafting successful viral content, feels complete. It's not claiming anything other than providing a model for crafting content that hits the mark. It's catchy, accurate, and delivers exactly what it promises. Is that so much to ask? Now on to compelling lead. Fishkin dives right into the subject, revealing his expertise on the matter without wasting any of our time. Right off the bat, he expresses his goal and extends points to give clarity. Our interest is piqued, our attention grabbed. And even as he's hammering away, his claims still sound flexible. He even goes on to call his work subjective, so even those who don't believe him are still inclined to read on. Another thing Fishkin ensures is authenticity. His first sentence clearly states that he's been studying this topic for years, and humbly, with a bit of excitement, he reveals that he only just recently stumbled on this current model. The reader gets to see a bit of the writer through his words, and he comes off as genuine and authentic. And whenever he expresses his opinion, he's sure to back it up with research, with links at the ready. The readability is crucial. After all, why would we even open up an article we're not going to read? The ideal blog needs to flow from one sentence to the next, from one paragraph to the other. And Fishkin makes his article very readable. The words flow fluently. There's almost a symphony at play. Sometimes we start a blog and click an external link and find ourselves on a YouTube video that may have nothing to do with the problem we're trying to solve. We've been successfully distracted due to a lack of readability. We follow along so well because it has structure. The foundation is solid. It begins with an intro, giving reasons why blog pieces are successful or not. And then he provides the framework infographic he believes can help craft viral content. After giving a few links to high engagement content, he immediately starts with the first phase of his framework, the hook. And then comes the line, and then the sinker. Its structure is simple. There's just 3 heading tags in the whole article. But even with that simplicity, it's complete. It's solid. And throughout the piece, he doesn't go off beat. He set a musical scale to his piece. That peppy, juicy tone we read is the unique expression of the writer. Take the sinker section, for example. Fishkin avoids the cliche last but not least, and instead talks about making a lasting impact with the audience. He knows that saying impact again and again won't have an impact, so he uses terms like punchy, gut-punching, and even snowflake. Fishkin knows it's important to maintain this expression. We all know just how boring reading can be, so every now and again Fishkin adds a dash of flavor. For example, the sinker is that singular, powerful, lasting memory that makes a piece stick with you. It's the "I'll have what she's having" from When Harry Met Sally. The "I can see Russia from my house." Tina Fey is Sarah Palin. Oh wait, did Palin actually say it? The lightsaber sound from Star Wars. You can hear that whoosh sound in your head right now. The first bite of al dente pasta after a childhood of soggy noodles. This hits us on a nostalgic level and paints a picture in our mind. We don't just read the paragraph, we hear it. Whether it's the blissful sounds of Sally or the lightsaber swooshes, the reading exercise becomes an audible experience. He uses the right graphics, the appropriate graphics. He understands his audience, and every image he uses with specificity in mind. Instead of them being distracting, they supplement his words to prove a point. It can be tempting to use some eye candy to attract viewers, but that can easily be seen as a cheap trick to snatch eyeballs. Then there's his method of making his piece shareable. Blogs are all about sharing. A blog piece that stays only on the original website won't be read much. It'll be limited only to the people visiting that website. On the other hand, if the piece is shared, talked about, fought over, it might go viral overnight. Fishkin achieves shareability by keeping the social share buttons scrollable. They're always accessible, whether you're at the beginning or the end. The iconic Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn logos always remain visible, with the bird in the middle. Now let's look at how it's optimized. I went over to Ahrefs to check the worth of this piece. Even though the article's not very old, it still has 56 organic keywords, where 7 of them are ranking in the top 3. SEOs might get it, but for the layman out there, almost a year after publishing this article, it's still getting an average of 59 visits per month. And for the link builders watching, the article alone has 92 backlinks, with 74 unique referring domains. That's a huge number. Now at this point, one could call it quite optimized, but even if you test it for structured data or schema markups, it passes. See? Now all this would be moot if not for the takeaway. I mean, how could I call a blog perfect if I don't get anything from it? Personally, it was his sinker section that got me the most. This is where he truly started to self-indulge. He spends a whole paragraph just building up the concept and defines it in a single punchy sentence. The sinker is that singular, powerful, lasting memory that makes a piece stick with you. The sinker is literally his sinker. And then he closes the piece with, "It serves no one, least of all yourself, to create content devoid of purpose, destined to fail." He leaves you with that thought. He wants you to carry it with you, to inspire you as you move forward and strive to write things that are worth reading. And that's just perfect.
Well, that's just perfect.
So that, according to me, is a perfect blog. It checks all my boxes. 10 tangible elements to gauge its level of perfection based on a definition I kinda made up. Mr. Fishkin, you've outdone yourself. Kudos, sir. But of course, it's just perfection from my perspective. Not everyone's going to agree. But to each their own. It's really just a way to demystify the concept of perfection and to make sure that you get satisfaction from your work and that the work does what you want it to do and that you actually get it done. And I think that is a perfect time for you to subscribe and for us to say goodbye. Goodbye. Enunciate. pronunciation. I lied when I said I had it. Social share buttons. I did it.